This is a Rides and Drives quick take of the 2022 Infiniti QX55. The QX55 is a crossover coupe that seats 5 people and tries to bridge that gap between a sedan and an SUV. What you have is a very good looking crossover that's designed to be driven on the road. This is not an off-road tow my RV kind of vehicle. This is a passenger car. So this is the new, and I'm not going to say all new, Infiniti QX55. And the reason I'm not going to say all new is because basically this is an Infiniti QX50 that's been chopped and bobbed, let's call it. The roof is a little lower and the rear end is a little more coupe-like. And so they do call this a crossover coupe. This has the same engine as the QX50. It's a 2-liter VC turbo that makes 268 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. And it is mated to a CVT, which I'll talk more about later. And all QX55s, unlike the QX50, have all-wheel drive. In the QX50, this powertrain gets about 21 miles per gallon around town, 29 on the highway. I would expect it to be close to that in this vehicle. The design was really inspired by Infiniti's original crossover, the FX. It had a very similar roofline and look to this car. This, of course, has all the modern Infiniti touches on the outside. You've got these great creased side panels that are very sculptural. The hood, the clamshell that comes over the fenders is again a part of the Infiniti signature. And then you've got things like the LED tail lights that each have individual LEDs in them. There's some nice little touches, like on the rear hatch, you don't have a latch that you pull, you actually push on the Infiniti logo and that opens the rear hatch for you. So it's just something that cleans it up and makes it a little more interesting. I'm a big fan of Infiniti styling. I think the Q60 is a great looking sport coupe. I think Q50 is a great looking sedan, and this fits right in that mold. This is a gorgeous little crossover. Inside, this is a very comfortable vehicle with plenty of room for 4 people and 5 if you want to squeeze someone else in, if you have a friend you don't like that much. This is the top of the line sensory trim level, so it has everything, including semi-analon leather and this Deadpool themed interior. You don't have to get black and red. They also have the just dark, what they call graphite. And they also have a stone and graphite color combination as well. So if you're not a Deadpool fan, you can buy this car. The interior finishes on this thing are really good. The leather is very high quality. In this sensory trim, you've got this open pore wood and some nice brushed nickel finishes. It's all pretty tight. You know, Infiniti tries to position this as sporty, and for the most part it is, but there's one feature on this car that really keeps it from being an engaging driving vehicle, and that is the CVT in this. If you really want this to be a performance car, you have to have either an 8-speed automatic or a DCT in this thing. Secondly, it's a little thing, but I think it matters. It's the quality of the buttons that surround the infotainment system. These are plastic. And if you look at BMW, if you look at Audi, if you look at Mercedes, heck, even Genesis, these buttons would be metallized. They'd have a higher quality touch and feel, and that's something that you touch every day. And I'm kind of surprised that this hasn't been upgraded. The QX55 starts at around $46,000 for the Luxe trim. You'll pay about $52,000 for the mid-level Essential trim, and then come all the way up to this Sensory trim, and you're at about $57,000 or $58,000. Now for that, you get all the good stuff. You've got Infiniti's Pro Pilot Assist, you've got a Bose 16-speaker audio system that sounds great, you get the full dual screen Infiniti infotainment system, which is a little confusing when you first jump into it, but like anything, the more you use it, the more used to it you'll get. And it's actually a pretty good system once you get to know it. There are a lot of options out there between the $45,000 to $60,000 price range. You can bring BMW, Audi, Mercedes into that. You can even look at, say, a Toyota Venza, which might be competitive with this. There are a lot of options, and so what you're really looking at is what makes this different and what makes it special. And in my mind, it's the design. Yeah, it drives great. Yeah, it's comfortable, and it has all the luxury and safety features that you want. But what really separates Infiniti from everyone else is the quality of the exterior design of this car. And I really think it is a handsome crossover. So that's the 2022 Infiniti QX55 crossover coupe. Tell us what you think in the comments. For more information, check out ridesanddrives.com, and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For Rides and Drives, I'm Harvey Briggs, and I'll see you somewhere down the road.